more specific questions when we get things going.
All right. So, is there anyone in the chat? All right, Noah. We're we're happy to have you. We are excited to brew. Um, so Ian, the background of our video is the cEDH cast logo.
Yeah,
Do you?
I was gonna wait until we had a couple people here to.
All right, that's fine. We can keep waiting.
Hey, buddy, we're just
Let me put
gathering
it.
people who are here, making
Yeah.
sure everybody is on the same page.
On the same page.
Yep,
Everybody
yep.
loves being on the same page. Everyone
Oh
loves a
yeah.
good page.
Everyone loves good pie. I'm definitely gonna have some questions about this list. And I'm excited that we haven't talked about it really too much ahead of time because that's gonna make it a little better. Are you playing what I think you're playing?
What? What do you mean?
Oh no.
What?
I'm trying to find it just because I don't remember the name of it. Yeah, okay. We'll talk about that.
Is it the Badger?
Nah, the Badger is fine compared to what I think of this card.
What card is so spicy that you would say that?
Oh man, I think it's hot garbage. I don't know how to feel about this.
I put a
Yikes.
card in here because I thought you'd give me shit if I didn't play it. I'm almost 100% sure it's that card.
If you didn't play it?
Yeah, so if it's that card, I'm gonna be really salty that I played that card, so you wouldn't give me shit
No.
about it, and then you give me shit about it.
I don't think it's this card. It just seems like hot garbage. I don't know why you're playing it.
Can you at least give me
Uh it it uh it costs 2 mana of the same color.
Oh no.
It just
Wait,
feels
is
it
it
feels
Narcissus Reversal?
no, it feels
No,
like a
it's
card that should have been in the deck you texted yesterday.
it was. Are you talking about Ideas Unbound?
Yeah, that card's garbage.
What are you talking about? It's so good. We need a way to draw cards during. We need a way to trigger during our end step so we draw cards. You know,
I oh, I guess.
it's so we can
Sure.
trigger in our end step so we can go to more than enough
Yeah,
cards.
I guess.
We draw 9 cards off that.
Yeah. Wait, what?
If we put a Curiosity on our Brawlin, we draw 9 cards and we discard 3 cards.
Oh, okay. No, no, no. I see that. Okay, there we go. There we go. I
All
didn't
right,
see that with the
my man's on
curiosity.
board now.
I mean, not really, but we'll talk about it.
Oh God, 1 sec.
um,
All right, I am now posting on Twitter that we're live,
okie dokie.
and I'll post a little picture with it because I like the little shark I made.
Very nice. Very
I
nice.
like it. Do you like the shark I made? Did you like the little shark eating
Yeah,
our logo?
I did. It was very cute.
It was very cute. All right, are people starting to get an idea what we're brewing? Because we keep mentioning sharks,
Yeah.
birds,
Sharks, men,
shark birds.
men's, sharks, shamans.
Anyone want to guess what we're brewing? Just put a
I mean,
little,
you did
put a,
name the stream like live commander deck text
sharks.
sharks. I think people might have got it. Although people could be
Hey,
here, and I'm very sorry if you're here for the Sharknado card.
oh, we're not brewing around Sharknado. I'm so sorry.
That card's so dumb. Are we I'll give it 2 more minutes for everyone to get here. So at 6:45 we'll kick it officially off.
Oh no, I'm getting
Thanks.
angry. I'm getting angry messages in the Discord. This can't be good.
Oh no, why?
I don't know yet. We'll find out as the stream goes on.
Yeah.
I need to post to the cEDH Facebook page.
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right.
Toronto. Does anyone else know that meme? I might have just yelled something random into the mic for no reason. People in chat, can you hear Braden well? Braden, it helps if you talk.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting a whole lot of nothing from them. So great, great.
Yeah, that's not good. All right.
Chat.
Okay. So we're probably close to being able to start. How are we feeling?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. So maybe we should probably do our normal intro thing.
Normal intro thing. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now all the people are coming. Oh man, there's a real delay. Noah said, unfortunately.
Wow.
Oh man, that's so good. All right, everybody. Sorry for seeing OBS for a moment, but welcome. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the cEDH cast. But this time it's live. is that our live voice, Braden? Should we do live voices?
Hello, everyone. It's Braden from the cEDH cast. We're
All right.
live
We're
from
live.
Downtown Philadelphia. We're
/
watching a police
Massachusetts.
chase.
Yeah.
A shark is flying in between buildings. On its back is a dude.
A dude. Yes, nice.
Named Brawlin. Almost
It.
sounds like a Dragon Ball Z character, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's Brawly, right?
Yeah, but it's Brawlin. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm brawling out. Riding this tiger.
Oh. Riding this shark, man, brawl. Very cool. All right. So, Braden, this is your deck. Yes, you've been brewing this the past couple days.
So, if anyone knows anything about me, they know I like drawing cards and I like partners. So,
yeah,
I saw this pair. I saw this pair, and I said to myself, "Hey, we got something special here." So
let's take a look at these guys each individually. I'll full screen this bad boy. So
I'll start out with Brawlin, the Sky Shark Rider. So it has partner with Shabra, the Sky Shark.
Shabra.
Whenever you discard a card, you put a counter on Brawlin, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. And it's damage, not loss of life.
And we'll give you a hint. That's the relevant card of these commanders.
Yeah. And then it gives a shark trample, which is just hysterical. Shabra, the Sky Shark, is it has partner with Brawlin. Bra. And wow, they must have done that on purpose. It has flying. And then whenever you draw a card, you put a counter on it and you gain a life. The counter is irrelevant because it gets really big and it has evasion. The life gain is sort of relevant, but not really. I mean, it's about as relevant as, like, people are going to try to kill you with, Nagila or Croxus sometimes. And then it can give Brawl and evasion, which is, like, actually kind of relevant. Because, like, we are going to put a curiosity on Brawlin, and being able to give Brawlin evasion might mean that we get to pay a blue or white to draw a card, which is not bad. It's, like, pretty good for free.
Right.
For free, we get that at no cost.
I mean, wheeling with the shark out presents a hell of a threat. I mean, that
goes
for 10 power.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's not like a proper wheel, even if it's like a Burning Ikoria, like that's still like a 7/7 in the command zone for 5 mana with evasion.
Yeah, that's Brawlin also gets huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and Brawlin gets huge too. So that's really like a 3 or 4 turn clock. So
very cool.
It's not like an unreasonable plan C or plan.
Cool.
So. I guess, does anyone have any rules questions? I guess we could cover first.
Yeah, let's we're gonna get delays on the whole chat thing. So why don't we go by permanent type? I would guess is probably the best way to address it. And then if questions come up through chat, feel free to hit them up. And Braden, you're watching that, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I guess the first thing we'll talk about is Narset. That gives us time to wait and see what happens with the questions. So Narset is a
Braden, sorry. Do we want to go over like the general concept of what you're trying to do in the deck first? I think that might make it easier for everyone.
So a good nickname for this deck is Jeskai Gitrog, and so the idea is you're discarding tons of cards and drawing tons of cards using a Brawlin. So we put a curiosity effect. If you wouldn't mind putting curiosity on the screen.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
We put a curiosity effect on our Brawlin. And that means that whenever we discard a card, we draw 3 cards. And so we go to our cleanup step and we discard a card. Let's say we have 8 cards in hand. We'll discard a card and then we'll draw 3 cards. That will deal 1 damage to each of our opponents. Then we'll draw 3 cards. We'll go to 10. We'll discard 3 cards because we go back down to hand size. Because at the end of your turn, you have to have 7 cards.
Right.
That'll deal 3 damage to our opponents. We can choose to draw any number of cards at that point, basically, because anywhere between 0 and 9 cards, because curiosity is.
Yeah.
And at that point, we're just going to discard a card, draw a card, deal 3 damage to, or deal 1 damage to each of our opponents. Discard a card, draw a card, deal 1 damage to each of our opponents, and that'll kill our opponents in our cleanup step.
Very cool. And that is replicated with Ophidian Eye as well.
Yeah.
Because that also has a May effect.
There's another effect that's very similar. It's Tandem Lookout, but it's not a May, and so it ends up killing us during our cleanup step, which is why we're not playing that. Right. You could play one of the Kozilek. You could play Kozilek, but the problem is if you have like 30 draw triggers on the stack and you don't have a way to discard a card between the draw triggers, you might draw Kozilek as the last card in your deck and then kill yourself. So it's just better not to play into that. We have a backup version of Brawlin in our deck, actually, and that is Glinthorn Buccaneer.
Yep.
It does the exact same, and it wins the exact same way. So we actually have quite a bit of redundancy at this point.
Cool. And that is... There are other win cons in the deck, yes or no?
That's... I mean, there is stuff with like Underworld Breach. I'm pretty sure we can start like drawing and discarding enough cards that our opponents are going to die.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that's it.
Because I noticed...
And to be honest, our commanders are so good at killing our opponents.
Yeah.
And we have so much redundancy that we don't really need it.
Sure.
You know, it's just wheels.
Yeah.
Like, we might kill our opponent by having a Narset in play, 2 20/20s on the battlefield, and have just resolved a Time Twister. But that's not technically a win condition, but that's going to win a game of Magic.
Yeah. So it kind of goes for the Opus Thief soft wins a lot of the time.
Yeah. I think this is a deck that's going to have a lot of soft wins, to be honest. And I'm like okay with that.
Gotcha.
I think the commanders are just really, really good at beating people to death in grindy games, and this deck has just so many ways of drawing cards.
Right.
So, if that's all good, I'd like to start going over the creatures, actually.
Cool. Let's do it.
Because I did mention Narset. Narset just lets our opponents draw 1 card, so it's kind of like a Notion Thief we get to play. So I'd like to go over the
Collector seems pretty obvious, right? I mean, it's a wheel deck.
Alms Collector is basically like the white Notion Thief.
Yeah.
So if our opponent would draw 2 or more cards, instead we both draw a card, and that actually helps us make sure we have more than 7 cards in our hand during our cleanup step, which we need to trigger the loop. So when we resolve a wheel, we'll actually have 10 cards in our hand usually, if we all draw 7.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. I already mentioned Glinthorn Buccaneer. Jade's Friend's Padre gives us a discard trigger. It also is like a Snapcaster Mage effect or a Mission Briefing effect, depending on which you're more comfortable with. It also has card advantage. It's just generally a pretty good card here.
Now, are you worried about having this and Curse Totem in the deck, or you're accepting the fact that they will non-bow?
I accept that's going to happen sometimes. Yeah. Usually you're going to play a Jade's Friend's Prodigy pretty early, or you're going to discard it. Since we have so many ways to like loot in our deck and like cycle cards around, I'm okay having dead cards that are super powerful.
Fair. And obviously the same goes for the very minor abilities that your commanders have as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we also have Gilded Drake. It's like a staple. It steals back our commander.
Yep.
It steals a Gitrog monster, I guess, if we want to do that. It does a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Draenith Magistrate. Draenith Magistrate is the new card from Ikoria. Yep. It's like a pretty insane stacks piece. It says our opponents can't cast spells anywhere other than their hands. So it turns off a lot of commander-centric stuff. We're going to be filling our opponents' graveyards a lot. And so this is actually like really irrelevant because of that. And turning off commanders is like really good, especially when we're already giving people, card advantage.
I think most decks playing white right now, or at least post Ikoria, are going to be probably trying to jam this card. I mean, it's such a powerful stacks piece for only 2 mana.
Yeah. It just also is like good in this deck. Like I think this like card is good in this deck, and it's also busted. So
Right. I mean, the fact that it's not symmetrical is insane.
Yeah, for sure. Dockside Extortionist, I think everyone knows this one. It's like we're playing Storm basically with a combo finish, and so this card is great in Storm. So, finally, we have Surly Badgersaur, which is a badger dinosaur from Ikoria. it says whenever we discard a creature card, we put a counter on it. Whenever we discard a land card, we create a treasure, which is insane, I think. I think that's like actually insane.
Yeah.
And then it says whenever we discard a non-creature, non-land, it's like an instant or sorcery or enchantment or artifact, we have our Surly Badgersaur fight a creature we don't control. I really see this killing commanders. Like, this just kills a Najeela almost every time. This kills Mana Dorks, it kills Seaborn Muse, it kills Crom. Like, this card, like, punches Crom.
Yeah.
And our Shabra already does that. So,
Shabra! Yeah.
I think this card's awesome in this deck. Like, at first I was kind of down on it because it's 3 mana and a 3 and a red.
Yeah.
But I think it's just nuts. Like, it's a board wipe.
Yeah.
Right?
I think also the up 2 is definitely the most important part about that. You know what I mean? The fact that you can choose when and when not to be fighting with this creature is very important.
Can you say that again? Sorry.
I said the fact that the fight ability is optional, so you're not like jamming it into a larger creature.
Oh, yeah. And how often are you going to do that? Like, a 3/3 is about as big as stuff gets here, and you're probably going to discard. You can stack the triggers. So if you, like, discard 7 cards, you can, put all the counters on first, then fight something. So,
yeah, very cool.
It's very cool.
All right. You want to move on to sorceries?
Yeah, sure. So sorceries is the next one we have.
Let's start with that spicy number right there. I mean, Burning Inquiry.
15. Oh, okay. Burning Inquiry is super cool in this deck, I think. Mm-hmm. It bolts our opponents first of all. We're already playing tons of like cantrips and filter stuff, so like it hurts us less than everyone else.
Yep.
And it also feeds our graveyard.
Right.
And it also, can you imagine we play this into like a Surly Badgersaur or an Alms Collector or a Glinthorn Buccaneer? It's insane.
Or a Narset, yeah.
So, we're just trying to play like some disruptive wheels and stuff, and this like goes exactly into that.
Cool, very cool. It's just, once again, like the Opus Thief line, they play this. Faithless Looting.
Mm-hmm. Faithless Looting. So sometimes we'll need a way to trigger our... So like Faithless Looting is a card I love. I think it's better than it is. So I just like putting that on the table. I think Faithless Looting is better than the card actually is. I jam it in like everything I can. But in this deck in particular, the ability to have flashback is like super relevant because we might put our Curiosity on our commander or a Buccaneer, and then we need a way to discard a card so that we can start triggering the the draw 3.
Yeah.
So like if we cast a Faithless Looting and we have our Curiosity on our commander, we will draw 2, discard 2, draw 6.
Yeah.
Which is like nuts. So that's why I think it's already good enough for this deck probably, but then it's like nuts,
With Curiosity, yeah.
Yeah.
So this next card kind of brings up, and I guess, spicy number down there. So I was going to say, do you find like there's not a lot of ways to get Curiosity, but we do have Open the Armory and Gamble here, so.
Yeah. So Open the Armory is probably just Demonic Tutor in this deck.
Sure.
Probably. It gets one of our 2 Curiosity effects.
Right.
And that's about it. But I will say that's probably what we want to see the most often. Curiosity is 1 mana, which is just absurd. So if we play our commander one turn and then the next turn we just go like Open the Armory, Curiosity, that's a 3 mana, like it almost is like a 3 mana. If you think about like how good Freed from the Real is, it's about that good. So like Open the Armory in this deck is about Freed from the Real good.
Well, drawing and Open the Armory is like drawing an Ophidian Eye technically, because it's that same 3 mana.
Exactly. And sometimes it's a 5 mana Ophidian Eye because you already lost your Curiosity, but even then it's like
still
it's
really
not
good.
The worst.
Yeah.
So, and also we have all these. We play these dead cards like Open the Armory, right? But we just have all these ways of like looting in our deck, so we just throw them away.
Yeah.
So.
And then Gamble, obviously great in any red deck, especially without black, right?
Yeah. So we just want to be playing ways to get these cards out of our deck and into our hands. So.
Please, for the people at home who weren't here before the stream officially started, can you please explain why this is in here?
Was someone asking? It gets Curiosity, right?
No, I'm talking about Ideas Unbound.
Oh, Ideas Unbound?
Yeah.
So if we draw 3 cards, that can help us like storm out that turn. But if we hit like an Open the Armory or a if we hit any of our combo pieces off the Ideas Unbound, we actually want the discard triggers because we want to discard during our end step so we have enough cards in our hand that we can combo out during our cleanup step. So the Ideas Unbound is a 2 mana draw 3, which is like insane. And then if we hit what we need to hit, It's even better than a 2 mana draw 3. It's actually like an enabler. So then it draws us
Right.
like 9 more cards. And then 2 mana draw 3, discard 3 is not that bad. I don't think that's
Yeah.
bad in this
Just to
deck.
just to clarify some of the shortening of that language there, when you say the end, it draws you 9 cards because you will discard 3, and if you do have a curiosity effect with Brawlin out, you're going to be now drawing those 9
Hmm.
cards because your curiosity is triggering once for each opponent.
Hmm.
So it is very important for
Oh,
the people at home that Brawlin is really the 9 times out of 10 we're talking about putting curiosity on Brawlin because that is the main effect of the deck.
I will say, someone mentioned it gets Steel Enchantment, and I don't think Steel Enchantment's in the list right now, but it absolutely will should be. So I'm actually just going to put it in right now.
Great.
Steel Enchantment should be in the list, and I'm going to cut something. I'm not sure what, but Steel
Yeah,
Enchantment should be,
great. Throw
and
it
that
up in the
makes
main
Open the
board.
Army like way better. So it
Mm-hmm.
seems amazing. Thank you, whoever said
Um,
that.
so the usuals. I kind of called you out on a
Subject to
Rite
the
of Flame once again beforehand. What do you think about that one?
So I just like that it helps us like rush out our commanders or our mana rocks,
Right.
or like a Dockside or a Glinthorn Buccaneer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, right, like if we have a Curiosity and a Glinthorn Buccaneer in our starting hand, which is like insane.
Right.
Uh, let's say we did,
Yeah.
being able to play the turn 2 Glinthorn Buccaneer off of Rite of Flame is like really important.
Okay.
It also plays our Dockside Extortionist. Like we just have a lot of like it plays Underworld Breach. We have a lot of like we have Throw Possibility,
Yeah.
Pyretic Ritual, Seething Song. Like we have a lot of rituals in this deck and like other weirdly costed cards that I think just like playing Rite
Okay.
of Flame fixes.
Yeah. So you think with the amount of velocity the deck gets, playing rituals doesn't really have a drawback?
Yeah, like if you draw 9 cards, like does it matter that you're playing a really bad Dark Ritual?
Yeah. Fair. Fair. Now I'm pretty used to seeing this card in a lot of brews, but let's talk about Savine's Reclamation. Yeah.
Sure. So I already mentioned we're going to be like pitching tons of stuff and like cycling and like ripping through our deck as quickly as possible. So Venus Reclamation is a reanimation spell for a curiosity effect and our Underworld Breach and our Steel Enchantment and our Ophidian Eye and our Ristic Study. It also gets back our Glinthorn Buccaneer. It gets back a Gilded Drake. It's very powerful. And then the flashback on top of it means that we can actually discard the Savine's Reclamation while it's not very useful, and then have it bring back both our combo pieces, which is like insane.
Very cool.
So,
With all the graveyard play, this is kind of hitting me now. Have you thought about intuition in the deck?
maybe I think intuition with Savine's Reclamation is probably broken because I can
Yeah.
do intuitions get Savine's Reclamation, Curiosity, Glenhorn Buccaneer,
Or
or I don't
Underworld
even think I need
Breach?
to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Savine's Reclamation, Curiosity, Underworld Breach. They give me Savine's Reclamation. I play my commander, Savine's Reclamation, the
Yeah.
Curiosity. It's a little long, but it's probably worth playing. I should look
I
into that.
I agree. Very cool. All right. Now brainstorm, chain of vapor, all that's good. Now we have another new one here. Let's talk about deflecting SWAT, if it will let me look at the card. There we
Yeah.
go.
So if you control your commander, you may cast a spell without paying its mana cost, and then it lets you choose new targets for spells or abilities. Um, this does really weird stuff. It's a very strange ability. For example, it lets you, let's say someone tries to like steal enchantment your Mystic Remora, you could deflecting swap the steal enchantment. If they're trying to Gilded Drake your commander, you can just change the target. Um, if someone tries to play their own Curiosity or something, you can redirect it to your commander.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, I don't think that works. But I think Ophidian Eye it would work. No, it doesn't. But I don't think it works with Curiosity either. No, it doesn't work with either. But there's just weird stuff you can do with it. It's also like a counter spell, so you can like make a counter spell target another counter spell, or make a targeted draw effect target you instead. It just does weird stuff like that.
Right.
It
And this
protects
is
our
a pretty commander heavy deck, so you definitely want it
yeah,
out.
for sure.
So that'll be good. And then speaking of that, we have probably the most broken card in this new cycle, the Fierce Guardianship. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. It's just like it's a force negation if you control your commander, and then it's a force negation if you don't have if you have your commander, it's like a good force negation, and if you don't have your commander, it's a slightly better force negation. So uh, it's a negate that lets you play it for free if you have your commander, but it costs 3 mana.
Yeah,
So
this card is instant new staple in our format, I think. So we'll probably be
Yeah, I
hearing a
think so
lot about
too.
that. We'll definitely
Um,
talk about it in a good more detail during our set review. So,
yeah, for sure. So
pardon me,
then
everyone. Sorry about
we
that.
have we have Frantic Search, which is
Hmm.
just like an insane card in this deck. I
Yeah.
think. Um, I think people are when they play this deck, they're going to find out that like, oh, my commander being a 4 mana 3/3 that becomes like a 6/6 on turn 2 usually is going to be like very powerful. Additionally, it's always pressuring people's life totals casually. So like even if you're not going to combat, every time you discard a card, you're dealing damage, and that's going to add up really, really quickly. And I think there's going to be a lot of grindy games where um, you just win out of nowhere.
Are
King
you not
Court,
running
this will be.
shenanigans?
I'm not running shenanigans in this list, so that's an interesting question. We should explain why that's
Yeah.
relevant.
Yeah.
So if you have Frantic Surge and Shenanigans and Underworld Breach in your deck, you can basically exile your deck, or basically see every card in your deck. So
Right.
Shenanigans dredges you for 1. Frantic Search puts the top 2 cards of your graveyard of your library into your graveyard, basically, and then Frantic Search will untap your 3 lands you use to play it. So with Shenanigans dredging you an additional card, and then you get the Shenanigans and discard a card, you're actually able to put 3 cards into your graveyard at a time, which feeds the Frantic Search with Underworld Breach. So you
Right.
do that almost any number of times. You can do it until you run out of your deck.
Right.
Um, and then Shenanigans is also good because if you're playing like a graveyard-centric deck, you often lose to cards like Grafdigger's Cage. And so the fact that like you're already playing this graveyard-centric deck that you can
Yeah.
dredge the Shenanigans back from the graveyard to hit the
Hmm.
cage is like super relevant. It's a lot like why Ancient Grudge is really good, because you can like Ancient Grudge, you know,
And then
the
flash it back. Yeah.
Grafdigger's Cage, and then you know cast the other one from your graveyard to remove the problem permanent. But the best part about this is that you don't need to cast it with flashback. You actually just put it
Yeah.
back into your hand from the grave. So it's very good.
Yeah. So going down the list, seeing a lot of rituals. Seething Song. Now I'm curious about that. What? It seems like a lot of red mana for the deck. Like I mean, there's a lot of it here, but you know.
It does play our commander. So
Mm,
it also plays like I like the idea of us like rushing out wheels, and I like the idea that like we're playing the Seething Song, casting the wheel, floating 2 mana, drawing 7 cards. I can use that 2 mana towards casting my commander or playing a Dockside Extortionist or Underworld Breach.
yep.
I like the idea that like with Seething Song, we can cast it multiple times from our graveyard if there's an Underworld Breach in play. Um, I just really, I really like the idea of us trying to like rush out these cards.
Sure.
I don't. We can play like this disruptive plan, but we can also like be aggressive and rush out the mana. So that's the idea. Seething Song might be a little bit like bad. I think that'll come
Mm.
out as I play the deck more and more.
That
But
would be my inclination, but yeah,
honestly,
definitely.
I'll just cut it right now for the Steel Enchantment. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So,
Thrill of Possibility. What's up with that card in this deck?
throw a possibility. So it's an instant speed way to discard a card and draw 2 cards.
Sure.
And so that means we can do it during our cleanup with like a trigger on the stack or during our end step. So
Okay.
that's like the idea.
Okay. Cool. And Tolarian Winds, same thing, I assume.
Yeah. So the idea being that we want to be able to do this stuff at instant speed. So what's really cool is like with our commander, we can do weird stuff where like let's say someone ad nauseous down to like 2 or something, we can just be like Tolarian Winds die or something like that,
Oh,
right?
I see. Sure, sure, sure.
So I do like that idea,
Hmm.
or it's probably more likely with like a Necropotence because with Necropotence you don't see the cards
Right.
immediately.
Right.
But I do like the idea that like by having instant speed discard, we have a way to like trick our opponents into
Hmm.
going to like a suspiciously low life total,
Yeah.
and then just getting.
Getting there out of
So
nowhere. Makes sense.
yeah,
Okay, very cool. Moving down to the artifacts, ones of note apart from just generic mana rocks. Lion's Eye Diamond, Cursed Totem. Do you want to talk about those?
yeah. Lion's Eye Diamond goes infinite with a Wheel of Fortune and an Underworld Breach. And
Hmm.
those are both cards we're already playing, so I thought it was kind of free. It also does a cool thing where we can, like we can like play our Glenhorn Buccaneer, put a Curiosity on, drop the LED, crack the LED, draw a ton of cards, then use the mana we made to play the spells we drew.
Oh, that's very
But
cool.
that's probably not going to happen. That's probably not going to happen. But
Sure.
it's like a theoretical thing we could do.
Yep.
The other idea is we have the Buccaneer in play. We put the Open in the Armory on the stack, crack the LED, open the Armory resolves. We have the mana now to play the Curiosity or the Ophidian Eye, but that's all like not going to happen. But
right,
it's kind of cute that like the Lion's Eye Diamond feeds into our commander with a discard. It also feeds into like the Underworld Breach that we're already playing. So I felt like it was worth it.
Sure. And Curse Totem?
So if you look at our creatures, we have Glinthorn Buccaneer, which I don't think we're going to use that activated ability really ever.
Yeah.
We have Jace Vryn's Prodigy, which I think we will use, but it's usually an early drop and it flips over eventually. So I'm not really worried about it. And that's all of our that's all of our creatures with activated abilities.
I mean, the commanders do, but once again, they're pretty minimal.
I'm not going to be activating either of those abilities, maybe ever. Maybe the Shabra ability, but but how many times can I say Shabra before you stop laughing?
It's probably going to be funny forever.
Okay, so that's. I mean, I don't blame you. So yeah, that's why.
Very cool. Now, a question that I know you and I have talked about to a rather extensive degree is when you get these loops like the LED Wheel of Fortune, or hypothetically you could do Wheel of Fortune and Smothering Tithe and Underworld Breach, like these breach loops, like if you don't have your commander out, how are you supposed to be winning with these, or are you just not going for them without it?
We try to hit a Glinthorn Buccaneer, I think.
Okay, that's kind of your out there.
Yeah, like if we don't have access to our commander anymore, I think we try to hit the Glinthorn Buccaneer with like 20 or so, 30 or so cards left in our deck.
Yeah.
Because then we can play the Glinthorn Buccaneer off the LED. Maybe we have one more mana left so we can play the Curiosity, and maybe have like a Frantic Search or something, you know?
Okay.
So
it seems like you're in danger of killing yourself a reasonable amount.
With the Underworld Breach loop?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I would not say that's like the win con of the deck. It's just backup.
It's a backup win con that can get you there.
Yeah, like Underworld Breach and Wheel of Fortune are so good we have to play them.
Sure.
And LED like actually is almost good in our deck. So it feels super free. But you should be aware like our deck is not designed for this. It's designed so that you can like it's almost like a consultation you get to play. You get to play Demonic Consultation naming Glinthorn Buccaneer. You might die doing it, but you do get to do it.
Sure.
The problem is you've put a lot of work into getting to this point, and you don't want to like put a lot of work into casting a Demonic Consultation. You know?
Okay.
You don't want to spend 10 mana so you get to cast it to see if you die.
Right.
But sometimes you have to, and you win that way, so you don't feel bad.
Okay.
Additionally, we do have Surly Badgersaur, which is like insane. So that card makes treasures as we like are doing this loop. So we actually start making like enough mana that we can dig ourselves out of the hole.
Right.
So
Tithe does it too. Yeah.
Yeah, Tithe also does it. So we do have a few like outs so that like we don't just like start falling behind our Underworld Breach, which definitely happens sometimes.
Right.
So
okay, good to know. Then let's move on to enchantments. Copy Artifact, obviously a staple in most non-green decks. Curiosity, Mystic Remora, obviously. Rhystic Study, obviously. Tithe seems perfect in a deck like this. And we've been talking about Breach for the past couple minutes, so I mean that's
but I think we should go over Underworld Breach because
it's
like we haven't heard of that card specifically.
Yeah.
So Underworld Breach is an enchantment, and it says that each non-land card in our graveyard has escape, and the escape cost is equal to that card's mana cost plus exiling 3 other cards from our graveyard. And at the end of the turn, we sacrifice. So basically, this lets us cast a card from our graveyard technically any number of times. But each time, we have to exile 3 cards from our graveyard. Right. So we have to be feeding this resource, which is the number of cards in our graveyard, while simultaneously not running out of mana and also not running out of cards in our deck. So that's why the Underworld Breach line is scary, is because no matter what, eventually you're going to run out of deck. And to win the game with our deck, using the Brawlin or Glinthorn Buccaneer line, we need like 20 cards in our deck probably.
Right.
So it's kind of scary. I will say though that if once you start drawing a ridiculous number of cards, you can get Glinthorn Buccaneer and Brawlin on the battlefield, and then you start cooking with gas, because then every card you discard is 2 damage to each opponent,
Mm-hmm.
and you can play like a time twister or something. So you start getting to a point where you can get pretty far ahead.
Very cool.
It's just
Very
to
cool.
be aware of. This deck's really fun. I think it's like really, really cool, and you're playing very strange commanders, but
Mm-hmm.
you are living on the edge. Like you don't get Thassa's Oracle Demonic Consultation.
Yeah.
You have to play like these weird cards that happen to have synergies, and they all kind of like come together to make like a pretty decent deck. But it
Yeah.
means you just have to be aware of the weaknesses, and the
Yeah.
weaknesses are you're going to run out of deck eventually.
Mm-hmm. Definitely the benefits of the
You
deck
could
are being able to play cards like Brawlin and Shabra.
Yeah, sure. And by the way, like if you're someone who's like newer to cEDH, you can
Mm-hmm.
play Thassa's Oracle in this deck, and it's not bad. It's like
Yeah.
it's just there's like I have a certain deck building philosophy that I adhere to pretty aggressively, which is I try to play as few win cons as possible.
Right.
And Thassa's Oracle in this deck doesn't do anything, so it's just a hard win con. It's only
Right.
there to when we're winning the game, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that in my decks.
Sure.
But if I was newer and I didn't want to put as much effort into sequencing, and I just wanted the game to end when I said it was over, I would play Thassa's Oracle. So like keep that in mind if you're like watching this video or watching this live stream. That's something you should be thinking about.
Yeah, and not even if you're newer, I just personally like having a solid win con index, and so what Braden is describing is called the win con list philosophy. That's being portioned through a lot of decks that we have in cEDH. It's different when you have something like Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation, which is just this card literally says you win the game on it. But a lot of the, especially like Cyan's consultation lists, they rely on these sort of ideas that, when you have infinite draw and infinite mana, you win the game, quote by quote, right? However, sometimes you really do want decks where you just have this hard win con, right? But as Braden says, like if you slot Thassa's Oracle into the deck, you have to take something out, right? Sometimes that means not having the counterspell at the right time because you're looking at Thassa's Oracle in your hand. Sometimes it means you don't have one of these rituals that you're playing, and that means you can't win as fast as you want to be. But other times, as Braden said, those times when you get the Underworld Breach and the Lion's Eye Diamond and the Wheel of Fortune, now you know you win, and there's no doubt about it. So it depends on who you are as a player and what it means more to you. So, this being Braden's brew, he's just gone for that sort of idea behind it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's like one of the most fun ways to play. I think it's like one of the most interesting and difficult ways to brew. And I think it leads to better decks. But it also means that sometimes like you're just slamming your head into the wall because you realize that like you've just accidentally exiled your last win condition.
Right.
Like when you're playing a deck that is like going win conless,
Mm-hmm.
that isn't like just like one of the best deck in the format like Oracle Hulk is.
Yeah.
You have to like while you're playing constantly be thinking like, okay, this is the number one conditions I have left. Oh, if I exile this to my Delve spell, I'll be dead.
Yep. That makes sense.
So, but if you just play Thassa's Oracle, you're like, I don't care.
Yes, exactly. Unless that gets exiled, then you're in trouble.
But then you're like, oh yeah, my deck is designed to not even need this card, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over to the Goldfish tab, and let's get a couple hands and tell me what you would think about these hands.
Sure, that seems good with me.
All right, so let's see this first. Sorry, trying to get the sizing right.
Can you share your screen on Discord, by the way?
Oh, yes, I can.
So I can see them.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I have no idea where you are. There we go. Here, and share my screen.
Oh, so someone mentioned Stranglehold. I think Stranglehold's pretty good. It's a little high on curve. Like if you look at our enchantments, like most of them are 2 or 3 mana. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. I like that. Problem is our commander's 4 mana, so like we want to be playing our commander on curve, and Stranglehold you want to play earlier the better.
Yeah.
So it does lead to some problems. Like I don't know if this is the deck for Stranglehold, but Stranglehold's really good. So I'd think about it.
So let's check out this hand. We have Talisman of Creativity. That
Creativity.
one. Volcanic Island, Curiosity, Copy Artifact, Polluted Delta, Misty, Mana Confluence.
No, I don't think that's good.
Yeah, right. It's tough because you have the win in hand with technically ramp to get you there, but it's so slow.
No protection.
Yeah.
We don't even have protection.
Okay.
If we play the cute thing that okay, that's right. Oh, this is great. This hand's great.
Yeah, you like this a lot better.
Yeah, a lot better. So turn 1, we can play the Preordain. Don't draw the card yet. Come on.
Well,
I
you said
wanna...
turn 1.
Okay, fine. So we'll draw the preordain, and so when I keep a hand, I like to play in the first like 4 turns,
Yeah.
like before anything. So
Yep.
turn when we play the preordain, we'll probably hit rocks, acceleration, or something. Um, then we also have the enlightened tutor, which gets curiosity anytime we need it.
Right.
We have a pyroclasm, which can clear out the dorks that our opponents are probably playing. And
Sure,
we have a
sure.
Dovin's veto, so we can say no to whatever we need to.
Love
So
it.
the line of play I'd probably go for is play the preordain, hold up the Dovin's veto on turn 2, unless like everyone plays the dorks on turn 1 and turn 2. And then if people don't play anything that needs countered, I'll enlighten tutor for curiosity, and then try to like set up some, maybe like pyroclasm on turn 3, then turn 4 play my commander, turn 5 win. So
Awesome.
that's a pretty like interactive, and like if we draw any acceleration, like we're pretty good, because I mean
Yeah.
that just makes our plan even faster, which is good.
Cool. Let's do it second 7. Or another 7, I should say. All right, we got Force of Will, Chrome Mox, Prismatic Vista, Open the Armory, Silence, Mana Crypt, and Plains.
I really like this hand. Okay, so here's why. We have 2 of our 3 colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a Plains and a Prismatic Vista, which gets us 1 color. So that's probably going to be red.
Yeah.
Chrome Mox pitches the Force of Will, unless we draw a blue card.
Yep.
We have enough acceleration to play our commander on turn 1, and then on turn 2 get our win condition. We have a Silence to protect it. So that's insane. And then we can attack. We can actually attack with our commander on turn 2 to like draw into like maybe like a card that discards cards. So yeah,
Right,
if you just like look at the top 3 cards of our, like, that'd be nice if you would just see that next 3 cards. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, well, all right.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
all right.
So we just drew the nuts. So what we're probably actually going to do is keep the Forcible in our hand just in case, and we're going to pitch the Rite of Flame to our Chrome Mox, and we're going to get a blue source off the Prismatic Vista.
Yep.
Then we're going to play our commander on turn 1, and then turn 2, we are going to cast a Silence if we can. I don't know if we have enough mana. Oh, we have to do some juicy stuff, but this hand's nuts. I'm very happy with this hand. This is like great. This is exactly what we want to see.
And let's do one more for the people at home.
This hand's great. So we're just
all right.
gonna play a Soul Ring. We're just gonna play a Soul Ring and cast Time Twister. Yeah, I'm like really happy with that.
You mean
we can play our
turn 2 Twister,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can also play our commander on turn 2, and then turn 3 Frantic Search into a Time Twister, which is also pretty good.
Yeah.
So it really depends what people want. But that hand's great. I like it.
Awesome.
This deck seems like...
Yeah, it seems like a real fun deck to play, man.
All right. We probably should have done this differently, because this is like useful for the people listening on audio. But things you learn.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Does anyone have any comments they'd like to make or suggestions? Like, we're on a bit of a delay, but we're coming up on the end of this topic. Is there any questions anyone has?
So we said Steel Enchantment's definitely now in the maybe board of cards.
Oh, it's in the deck. I took out Seething Song and put in Steel Enchantment.
Look at you, already on it.
I'm a pro. Yeah, Nathan, they are some spicy hands. You want to do one more, and then we can do this one out loud so people on audio.
Sure. Okay. Let's do. Okay, so obviously this is pretty unkeepable, the one I'm seeing right now.
1 sec.
I mean,
this one's fine.
Hypothetically, you enlighten tutor for like a crypt, right?
Yeah, this hand's really good actually. So I'm gonna read the hand out loud, and I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's a Plains, a Talisman of Progress, a Enlightened Tutor, a Time Twister, an Open the Armory, a Surly Badger, and a Jace Vryn's Prodigy.
Badgersaur, please. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So if we look at this hand, we have a single land, but we have an Enlightened Tutor and a Talisman of Progress, which represents a Mana Crypt and another thing to play off the Mana Crypt on turn 2. Interestingly enough, that means we will have enough mana to play the Jace Vryn's Prodigy on turn 2 off of the Talisman of Progress. Or if we draw a land off the top, this exact turn, our first turn, we can play a Time Twister, which will then have 2 lands in play, a Talisman of Progress, and a Mana Crypt, and 7 cards in hand. So assuming we don't draw anything else.
Yeah.
So I think this hand's gas.
Okay.
I'll read it off one more time for people to listen to. Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, Talisman of Progress, Plains, Surly Badger Soar, Enlightened Tutor, Time Twister, and Open the Armory. The Open the Armory is basically useless here unless we want to start grinding out.
Yeah.
If we go for the Jace, Vryn's Prodigy plan, the Open the Armory is actually pretty good because we can then play our commander on turn 3, probably, and then get our curiosity for Open the Armory. So this hand's gas if we draw.
Let's do another one for the audio listeners.
Yeah, Riel is an interesting version of this deck. I brewed a Riel deck on stream, and we actually played one of the commanders in this deck in the 99. I'll pull that up right now for people to see.
Yes,
sorry, I'll do that once. Sorry.
Let me read out this hand then. We have a Wooded Foothills, a Flusterstorm, an Island, Pyroclasm, Sensei's Divining Top, Red Elemental Blast, and Thrill of Possibility.
All right, let me get a good look at this. Sorry, guys.
It's definitely one of the more medium hands we've seen. The other ones have been pretty gas.
All right, so we have 2 lands, top, a Thrill of Possibility, a Flusterstorm, and a Pyroclasm. I think this hand's pretty good. This is my second 7 I'm snap keeping. If it's much, I think honestly I just think this hand's good. I mean, the acceleration's a problem, but the fixing, the Pyroclasm, like, sure, we don't have an acceleration, but our opponents probably aren't going to either. It depends. Like, if you think you're against Opus Thief, this hand's like totally unkeepable.
Right.
Like, but if you're like against medium green, this hand's nuts. Like, you're just like, get got.
So the Pyroclasm definitely weighing influence on this hand, yeah?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And to be fair, like, you're talking about Throw Possibility. This is like one of the hands where Throw Possibility looks pretty bad. So maybe we'll like start considering maybe there's better options like careful consideration, careful study. What's careful study?
Yes,
maybe careful study is better than Throw Possibility.
It's pretty rough on your card advantage, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this is the conversations we have while we're playtesting. Is like, are these cards better? Are these cards worse?
Yeah, very cool. All right, man. Well,
yeah,
this has been great. I'm very excited to see
whoever
this deck.
Whoever said keep it 6, like, yeah, this is the slam dunk. Keep it 6.
Oh yeah, very much so.
I think we throw away the Throw Possibility or the top. One of the maybe
I
the
would
Flusterstorm
be
and
the line to throw away the Thrill than the top, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good matchups, bad matchups.
Yes,
our opponents are playing Rest in Peace. This deck gets a lot worse.
Yeah. So, would you say that Opus Thief isn't the best matchup? Because it doesn't feel like
they're just better at what we're doing.
Right,
you know?
That's exactly what I'm getting at, yes.
A lot of times people say to me, like, isn't this just a bad version of X or Y deck? And like sometimes the answer is yeah. Like, I think this deck is better than some cEDH decks. However, is Opus Thief better than this deck? Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
This deck's a lot better against like Back to Basics and Back to Basics and
Blood Moon. Yeah.
And Blood Moon. What do I run without? Oh yeah, Null Rod. Yeah, this deck's like pretty good against Null Rod. We're playing a lot of rituals, which helps. And our win condition doesn't use any activated abilities. So I'd say we're good against Curse Totem decks too. Like decks that are also on Curse Totem we're pretty good against, which is Opus Thief. But yeah, it's a. I think we're good against. For example, like we're good against. Like I think this deck's probably actually good against Fishhole because we're playing so much disruption of the sculpting, which is why Opus Thief is good against it. What do we run without Twister, counter, or cantrip? So we probably just play another wheel. What's a good wheel?
Are we talking about budget Twister replacements?
Yeah, we're talking about E-Wall. Are we talking about budget Twister replacements? Is that what we're talking about? I'm assuming the answer is yes.
I mean, you know my snap option, but that's...
You know what? Echo Vions is probably pretty good in this deck.
Yeah.
We're already on so much discard. We can just discard our Echo Vions. Let's go with the LED. Yeah, I'd say Echo Vions is pretty good.
Let's. I'm gonna pull that up.
Probably the best. Hot take. This is the best Echo Vions deck.
Fibblethip runs it main deck, so
Maybe I'm supposed to be playing.
Yeah. So for everyone at home, it is literally Time Twister in your graveyard when you flash it back, and if not, it is just a 6 mana Time Twister.
Ooh, someone said diminishing returns. That card is really good, but I'll make sure I know what it is. I know it's really
I
good because people always suggest it to me.
hate that card so much.
Is it the one that exiles the top 10?
Yes.
Oh, our deck doesn't care about that at all. Yeah, we should jam that. I probably should be playing that right now. No, probably not. Twister's just so much better.
I don't know, man.
Echo's pretty good. Diminishing returns pretty good. We have so much redundancy on what our deck does. Like, we're not
the
going to exile.
curiosity effects though.
We have two.
Yeah, two.
How often are two cards going to be on the top 10?
Top 10 this is a tenth of your deck. Yeah.
Nah, it's not going to happen very often.
Okay. Well, agree to disagree on that one.
And then we also have like backup win cons. So it's
sure. All right.
all right. Are we?
Yeah, I think this has been great, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the cEDH cast and a live deck tech. We like doing experimental stuff like this just to really grow the channel. We're going to be releasing an audio version of this later in the week. Keep your eyes posted for that. For those of you who are joining us here and now, obviously, probably won't get much different than you did live. But thank you for all of those who joined us live on the stream. And it's been really fun. We're really excited about a bunch of these new commanders. Braden's also been brewing around the other partner pair in Sultai. And we're going to be talking about a lot of the cards from Ikoria over time. Obviously, we kind of want to spread the excitement out a little bit because in paper, we're not going to be getting these for at least a month. So that's something a little sad.
I will say we should probably bring people on to brew more of these commanders over the course of the month. I know Nathan is obsessed, and I mean this in the best way.
He's
from the Sultai
dog. Yeah.
I'm not judging him. I mean, I built the deck within 10 seconds. So,
yeah.
By the way, it's a 1.1% chance of hitting both on a 90 card library. Don't be a weenie. Yeah.
1.1.
Yeah.
That's huge. Huge.
Basically 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nathan, maybe we should do one of these with you. Would you be interested in that? Because I'd be interested in that. I don't know if everyone else is, but
I am.
Yeah, so we'd love to have you on if you just want do a live deck tech like this.
Cool. So we can and obviously since this is live, we haven't really gone over everything, but you guys can find us in the normal places on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, Discord, all of the above. Thank you very much for joining us. Braden, any final words before we head out?
Thank you. Good luck. Stay safe, and please subscribe to us on YouTube so we can get.
Yes, please, very much. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing week.